Welcome to Papa's Workshop. In today's video, I got a little something different. I'm doing a home project and I have a door that I need to be able to plane down and be able to get it to fit in the door frame. Now, granted, this door is a replacement for the one that was there and it's just a little bit too wide. Now, my go-to planer has been this one right here. This is ancient. This is probably the oldest planer that's still in use anywhere, because this is back from the 60s and maybe even the late 50s. I'm not sure, but it is ancient and it has served me extremely well. In fact, this cord leaves a lot to be desired. But today I am going to retire this planer and I'm going to go ahead and use a new one. This is the planer that I'm going to be using today, and it's by the Topshak, and it does have this attachment on here so that I can plane the doors, and we're going to give this a test drive and see how it works. Let's get started. Now I only need to trim off about 1/8 of an inch, and all I really need to do is just use this pencil and give a rough guide. Doesn't have to be exact, and I didn't even measure it. When the door was hanging on the wall, I just kind of looked at it and said, okay, about 1/8 of an inch. Now that I have the door marked, I'm going to go ahead and set it up on my workbench so that I can plane this door. And you want to make sure that the door is secure so it doesn't move around, and that's very important. Now at this end of the door, I just have it secured into the vise, and I have my little popsicle adjustment here, so this keeps the vise from being able to be sprung and damaged, because I want to be able to have the even pressure on it. And at the other end, I have just a simple 2x4 that's clamped to the workbench that the door can rest on. Rather than doing the traditional box opening, I just went ahead and got everything out of the box, laid it out neatly on the table so you could see exactly what comes in that box. But this is a very complete system. I like the dust bag that it has, and I like the guide that it has that you can attach to it. Now this planer is by Topshak, and it's one that I have not used before, but I do like the features that it comes with. Now this is a heavy-duty planer, and it's very easy to be able to use. The knob on the front makes it where you can easily adjust the thickness, and I like the round port so that you can attach the hose for your shop vac. I want to give a quick walk around of this new planer, and this does have the attachment right here so that you can capture the sawdust that comes off of this. And I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and set up a hose so I can capture it with my central vacuum center. And on this, as I move around to this side, this does have the safety switch here. You have to push this button down to be able to turn it on. And then over here, you have the attachment where you can just attach to be able to do the doors. And it's just very easy to take this off if you're not planing a door. The height adjustment is right here. Currently, it's at a 0 cut depth, and all you need to do is twist this knob, and that changes the depth, just like that. And what it's doing, and when you change that depth, it's moving this plate right here. So that's a very easy way to be able to adjust it. Now I'm going to go ahead and get this set up. Now to begin with, I'm going to take a very shallow pass and see how this does. So I'm going to set it right there, and we're going to give this a try. Now this bag attachment just slips easily in and out. And what I'm going to do is just set this aside, and I have this adapter that I'm going to plug in, and that fits perfectly in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach this hose. This hose is actually by Rockler, and this is not a sponsored video by them, but it does have several different size attachments. And that is ready. Now all I'm going to do is attach this over to my shop vac, and that will capture most of the sawdust. So we're ready to go on this part. I must say it feels a little funny using this planer instead of my old one that I have used for decades and decades, but this is done really well. I like how it works. Now what I did is went ahead and ran this through twice and to be able to remove the 1/8 of an inch. And that's probably a pretty aggressive cut with the planer, but I wanted just to see how well it would do. So let's take a look at the results. So you can see that this is perfectly smooth. It looks absolutely fantastic. Now this is the door. I'm gonna have to redo this and reset this, but that's not the issue with the planer. The wood is absolutely perfectly smooth. It looks great all the way down. This is one time I wish you could see it in person rather than on a video, because it just really doesn't show up as well on the video as you can see it in person on just how smooth this is. Now this does leave a very sharp edge, so I'm going to go ahead and take some sandpaper and kind of round this over just a little bit to ease that sharp corner. And I'm just taking some 220 grit paper to be able to do that. It doesn't take a whole lot. And again, the only thing I'm doing is just taking this sharp corner down. There's no need to sand the surface at all. And that's really all that's necessary. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this all the way down. Now I temporarily reinstalled the door in my son's house. And I wanted to be able to verify just how well this door worked. And I did correct the doorknob, made the adjustments on that so it would all fit in there. And then let's test it out. So when I close the door and I look at the gap from the top to the bottom, that looks real good. That's what I wanted to be able to accomplish. That gives me about 1/8 of an inch all the way down from the top to the bottom. So now that I know this works, I'm going to take the door down and get it painted. This planer by Topshak is going to make a great addition to the shop. I'll leave a link in the description below so that you can take a closer look at this planer and perhaps add this to your shop. I know I'm going to enjoy this for many years to come, and I'm sure it'll outlast me. So I want to thank everybody for watching today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.